All right, well, another day, another failure, so let's get into that mindset right away. Today have arrived my 2 new gauges, fresh from Arabia or wherever they may have come from, and there is a problem already. While this one looks correct, my tachometer, apparently they made 2 different styles, in which case this one is different than what I had, so my right angle drive piece will not work. This will in fact fit in there and you can start the nut on, but this is obviously fine thread nut or threads, and this is not. So I'm going to have to get the correct right angle drive, which means more time will pass before it can be put together correctly. So that's really a bunch of garbage. But I think before I order that piece, I want to put this gauge in and make sure that all my stuff works, like fuel sender and that, because if not, I might as well get a fuel sender too, and then I can take this all apart again, put the new fuel sender in, and you know, just do all the stuff I should have done the first time. So let's get going with this. Now luckily, I was thinking slightly ahead and did not bolt all this down solid. So hopefully we can get this apart. I got 4 new bolts to hold this down. It had originally like Phillips head, I don't know what you'd call them, oval head screws or something that kind of had a recess that would go down in there, but couldn't find any of those, so I got some Allen headed jobs. And it's freezing cold and windy again today, so that's lovely. You know, it's lovely. That's what I'm saying. If you just say it enough, you might start to believe it. Now, I'm hoping that I can maneuver this out as is without much effort, but I don't know. Okay, well, we always have the option of dropping things. That always works excellently. Oh, this one actually though came out the other side, so that's kind of a first. Oh man, can we get to it? Uh-oh. I specifically did not take this apart to start with because I didn't want to mix up everything. Good grief, wind! Quit tearing my stuff up! Oh, that's annoying as can be. I have all the new roof to fix that stuff that's flapping, but I can't do it in the wind, so it's bound and determined to just totally destroy it all before we're done, you know? I'm not having good success with this bottom one. I should have known that was how it was going to come, but I wonder if this is that kind of deal where a guy could roll it around to where he could get to it more better. I don't think so, because I think it has a square edge to it. There we go. Oh. It's gonna fight me. Every step of the way, it's gonna fight me. It'll tighten up easy, but it won't come loose easy. What a bunch of baloney. Oh. I could probably take that black piece out of the green piece. I don't know if that would give me any more room. Somewhere along the line, it's going to come out. I bet when we're done, my lights won't work again. Because that seems to be how this project goes. You fix one thing, and you lose 2 others. Why? Because that's how I roll. I think I got everything man. Come on. Play nice. Play nice. There. Okay. We got our wires. And I believe the orange is the fuel sender, as I remember. And of course, yeah, the green is the temp. And then the other one is the hot. Okay. Oh, and it's lovely. It's put together totally different. Oh, and it's got a illumination feature, which I don't think the originals had. Oh, maybe it did. That was a ground. Was it a ground? I don't know. Probably gonna have to check our book again, because it doesn't look like we're gonna have a good time. Orange and green. So green was the temp. But then we also have a black one, which I don't know what that was. Oh, and then this one, which is our hot, I believe. So we're gonna have to get us a test light too, and see what's happening here. Because, wait a minute. Gee, there's always something to make it more difficult than it has to be. I'm also going to have to make apparently a jumper wire to go from the two sides of the gauge to give both sides power, which looks kind of like what they did on the original, except they made it into the gauge. I'll show you that better here in a minute, but alright. Yeah, see, if you look at this gauge here, it's got this bar, which is obviously just supplying power to both sides. So anyway, we'll figure this out. Alright, so it's just going great, you know, as per usual. Our normal way. We can't seem to get our fat hand under here, so that's nice. We looked up on the internet to try to find how in the world some of this stuff is wired up, because these cheapo Chinesian gauges are pathetic. So we're gonna do the best we can. I think I got it figured out. Oh geez, I think I got it figured out. Oh nice. Okay, it would be this one. It's gonna have to become our power wire in. I had to make a little jumper job, you see, to connect two together. And then in order to make this protected, I need to put on this other style of in, which is just not gonna play nice. I am immediately regretting putting the rest of the sheet metal on, because it does not, yeah, it makes this so much more difficult. Come on. Americanize it a little bit. There just is no good way to make this happen with it on the... Well, not very nice of you to do that to me. Oh, there, we heard the little clicky click. Now, gotta get our two ends plugged into each other. Isn't that what we're all after in life? Just getting our two ends plugged into each other. There we go. I think I'm on the right path, but as usual, it's going to fight, you know. I think what we're going to end up doing when we finally do take that, we're going to have to take this piece back off, what I'm saying. I got two screws in the black piece that I can't get out. They broke. Twisted the center out, you see. So I think that I can get maybe to it and fix it once I get the what am I trying to say here? Once I get this out of the way again. I think about everything together that I can get. I mean, this is a ground that originally was connected with a stud on the back of the old gauge. And now, to my best observation, the ground is this center post, and then your other two are isolated in between it. So I really need to make another jumper that will go from this to both of these. And I'm going to regret this, because then eventually what I'll do is go on the internet and find the right kind of gauge that's made more better. I ordered a new fuel sender. I don't know that that was necessary, but can't hurt at this point. There were two different styles of those too, but I managed to watch the video of me putting this in to figure out which one I had, so I think that'll be good when that gets here. I got the right angle drive coming for that tachometer. So basically, I think one more little jumper here for ground, and then I think we got her licked. And then maybe our instruments will work. I'm not sure. I like the completeness, but I don't like the cheapness of these gauges, so I don't know. Foiled again, I suppose. It seems like no matter what I try to do, I paint myself into a corner, but I'll go get some more stuff and make another jumper for ground, and then hopefully we'll be good. Okay. There. Now, can we gently tuck this down? Maybe? Okay. Now, we don't have our battery cable hooked up anymore. What do we got? Well, we got our original two lights. There's no way to know if our temperature gauge works until we heat it up, which we're not going to do today. The only other thing will be try to figure out if the fuel tank center that we have is working. And the only way I could think to do that is to make sure it's getting ground, which the fuel tank probably is not. So that makes me think that maybe if we clamp this on there, and then we Clamp this to here. What do we do? Anything? No. We don't have no. No. Nothing. I wonder, though, thinking out loud here to myself, what it would be like to try the thermo starter on this very cold and miserable day. Is it a good idea? I don't know. Wait a minute here. I can't get to that either. We'll just wait till we take the dash all apart again to do some of this other stuff, because it ain't gonna happen. But at least I got my little I got the gauges mounted in, so we're not just staring at an open hole in the dash with a spinning cable. So hopefully those parts get here in a reasonable fashion, because I'd like to button this dash up once and for all. Okay, so if we turn the key forward one click and then we go to the right, oh no, we go to the right part way, this should be thermo starter. I don't know. Oh, I messed it up. It's funny, now that I ordered that new horn button, this one works every single time. Yeah, it still turns beautiful. That's weird. You shut the key off. Okay, now maybe that makes sense. Turn the key on and the gauges stay over. But if you shut the key off, then they flop around. So that tells me they're not getting any current now. When you turn them on, they're being held in their respective positions. Temperature gauge is in fact cold. Fuel tank thinks that it's empty. So I guess that is working. Well, we'll let it run a little bit and see if the temperature gauge moves up. Well, it's obvious that today it's too cold to get that temperature gauge to move unless you'd run it for a long time. And it may not be, it may be a tractor where it doesn't get up very high either. I don't know. So the next thing we can attempt to do, which would be hopefully simple, is we can try to take those bolts out of the other axle one at a time and see if we can put in the correct ones, and if that will tighten it up. So let me gather materials here, because as per usual, the tractor has become a flat surface. even on surfaces that are not flat. So that's dandy. We will need our box of sockets and our impact, which is already laying here. Jeez, it's cold. All right, let's see what we got here. Probably 15/16. That would make sense, according to what we have there. And I don't think I have a 15/16 wrench here, which we will need to hold back on that. I thought we had a gigantic adjustable laying here, but I guess not. Well, I found close by an inappropriate size of sockets, which probably won't work either, but nope. Those are stuck, so that's great. That must mean that it's in wonderful shape. Did that one, what happened here? Oh, plan B. It's gonna be cutting. Because life's too short, friends, to save stuff. And I'm not sure which will prove to be the easiest method of cutting. It may be easier to cut the head off the bolt because you can get to it. See, the backside, the nuts are recessed in, and you can't get a very good grab to them, or whatever you want to say. Angle. Your angle of your dangle. Let's try it this way. Safety. Let's see if that's enough to twist them off. That's what we're after now. If we can just twist them off, we'll be in good shape. This one should go. Kind of. Got a little bit to grind off. How about this one? Ouch. I think it started. I thought it started to unthread. Now we can get to it to cut it back. So that's fine. More cutting, but we're in good shape. I mean, yeah, there we go. That's gonna work good. We may have to get another cutting wheel now. This one's about over with. Funny, after all the grinding and cutting, then it comes off. Stupid. I'm gonna pause right there and leave that other one in until I get one new bolt slid in, just in case something bad would take place. I don't know, I can't really get away from you, but it would be easier to do without much problem. Now, the parts book shows a lock washer on both the front and the back. So that's interesting. It also appears that that may not work because there's not enough room. Let's go look at the other side and see if that's true. Okay, now this makes sense to me more. The other side only has one lock washer, like I would have assumed. So that's the way we're going to follow suit. Let's do this. Let's keep the inappropriate tool theme. Alright. Well, right or wrong, at least that bolt is tight now and not spinning in there. Get this one to twist off the remainder of the head. Probably not. Probably not. Back to the Chinesium Special. Almost. But I got a trick up my sleeve on this one. Alright. All we need is an auger and an old piece. And we can make it go. There we go. Okay, good. That's out of there. One more new bolt. I actually got enough to do both sides, but the other side is fine, so we'll just put these away until a day when we might need them, because there's no use in fixing something that ain't broke. But at least these will be tight again, and in theory so will the axle be tight inside the housing. We'll have to jack it up again sometime and check. See if it really is. Come on. Alright. It's in there. Much gooder. Much gooder than it was. So yet another thing off of our list that we wanted to do to it, and our list is slowly narrowing down, so hopefully pretty soon we'll have something we can just take out and use anytime we want. I just really need to get my instrumentation finished and then all my lights wired up, and I think we'll be in good shape, and then clean up and make the back end a little more better. It's still got some crud on it. We want to get the new hydraulic hoses, clean this dirt all off of here, and make sure we don't have any major leaks. It looks like this might be leaking, and never having done one of these, I don't know how much of a chore that's going to be, but we will cross that bridge when we get to it. We still need to get this apart and figure out why this is so stiff to move. It does move and the arms do go up and down, but it needs to be a lot more effortless than that. So, but it's coming together, so pretty snazzy. Well, friends, I think to end this video, we need to take this little feller for a drive again. Well, I've never driven it since I fixed my spindle, so I think today's the day. It's actually the next day, but I think it's time to go on a cruise. It's bitterly cold, but hey, you know, life's too short to be comfortable. So, get my battery cable put on. And then we'll give it another cold start, I suppose, which I said in another video that I don't like to cold start my stuff, but here lately, it's been an everyday occurrence. So, let's mount up. Whew. It's not quite as bad as the 500 to get on, but it's still pretty tight. So, put our key in, which blew out. Got our two lights on. I don't know if she's gonna start today. It's pretty darn cold. Nope. Well, that sucks. Alright, I guess we won't go for a cruise. We'll charge it up, put the battery charger on it. Okay, so that's charging, and that's okay, because I actually, when I sat on it a minute ago, I remembered something else I forgot to do. I want to grease these brake shafts underneath and on the other side too, because when you step on the clutch, you also get the one brake pedal wants to kind of come down. So if I can get down to the ground in a safe fashion. Man, even the ground cracks when I sit on it. Good grief. Okay, let's see what we got here. I kind of feel like maybe we need to clean it off first. It still has some dairy farm yuck on it from years ago. Let's see. Parking brake handle there. That's kind of interesting. The parking brake lock isn't really pinned to anything. It's just a piece of rod with a hook on it, and it goes in between the two brake shafts. Oh, and there's like an eye bolt that it fits in. That's interesting. Huh. Different designs, you see. Let's just dirt delete this entire area here. Maybe that will soak in there, knock some of the crud loose. I think it's this inside one that's causing me trouble, so in that case, I think the major trouble for it is going to be on the other side. Okay, let's see if we squirt some grease into this, what takes place. Okay, it came out the back, so that's good. That means it's made it all the way through, which I didn't know that it would do. I'd like it to come out the front too, though. I wish it would come out between here. I think it's in there though. I can hear it kind of squishy. And we way over greased it for the back, but that's fine. We're still in the experimental stages here on this tractor, so like someone said in the one comment, somebody said it was going to be a usable tractor, and another guy said it's probably going to take 2 years, and I agree. It's probably going to take a little while of using it to uncover all of its issues and things that need addressed. So, but for now, we're just tackling them a little bit at a time as they arise. So anyway, we'll move to the other side and see if we can get success with it as well. Okay, there is a grease fitting here. That's good. So, as much slop as is in that pedal, you would think that it would you would think that it would not be hanging up, but put that on to kind of finish drying up that stuff. It seems to, you let that soak in a little bit, and then you can just go through and start knocking stuff off. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm operating under here, if you wonder why brake clean. But anyway, okay. I'd really like it to get nice and warm one day so I could take it and power wash some of this garbage, but so far it hasn't worked that way. I've had to clean one area at a time. Let's see if we can get success on this side. Greasing. Hopefully. Oh man, it's getting tight. Why would it be getting tight? Oh. Well, that's not good. Did our grease fitting give it up? I think it did. But it still shouldn't be. I think we got it though now. I think that was enough to get in there and let it loose. Man. Yep. Our grease fitting, I think, is toast. But we accomplished our task, so that's okay. It didn't take much, just a little bit to get that where it wasn't dragging this with it, because this is the shaft that comes all the way through the belly of the tractor to operate this brake. So, good deal. Okay, let's see now. Maybe we've had enough time to charge our battery. Let's unplug this first, just in case it starts. Okay. This is the lazy man's method of not wanting to take the grill on and off all the time, to which I am probably going to end up making the grill a mess from reaching through it, but okay, there. Okay, buddy. Let's see if you'll start now. There. I think my big problem was I used that thermo starter thing yesterday and then didn't let it run long enough to recharge, so we'll let her warm up here a little bit, then we'll take her for a spin. All right, let's see what we got. Ooh, already I'm liking the steering. Oh yeah, much better. Probably first gear. Hard to get used to. It's not, that doesn't feel like, yeah, there would be one, there would be three. I can never remember if low or high is up or down. I think high's down. Yeah. All right. Oh yeah. Foot throttle action. There we go. That foot throttle is pretty sweet. I like that. Like I said, if 550 or Super 55 would have had that standard, that would have been a very nice feature. Oh yeah, look at that. Turning perfectly. Well, this little sucker is running pretty sweet. Just a few more little things to button up here and there, and I think we got something pretty snazzy. It runs great, and it feels like it's got, you know, some guts to it, so that's pretty neat. So anyway, I do need to get a bar and put in here. I said that last time and I didn't do it. When you turn corners, it smacks the tire on this side especially, so. And I see we got another leak to address. I knew it was leaking there somewhere, but I wasn't sure exactly where. It's pouring out of that upper lift arm housing, so we're gonna have to look in the parts book and see what's in there, figure out how hard it is to fix, because that's a fast enough leak there that it's got to be dealt with. I mean, it's made that mess right now. It wasn't near that wet a while ago, but hey, that's not bad for sitting for so long, so it's entitled to leak a little bit. But I'm happy. I think we're on the right track. We're almost complete. Just like I said, a few little things, and we'll have us something. As always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up. That helps out the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything. Leave a comment. Tell me that you liked it, or tell me that you hated it. Tell me I'm a moron. I really don't care, but anything that you say helps us out too. So thank you again, as always, for watching, and I will see you in the next one.